Hello, hi, good evening, and a very warm welcome to all of you in today's webinar. As usual, we are going to allow a couple of minutes to everyone to join in and settle down, and then we'll get started with our discussion. However, in the meantime, we are going to discuss a few important things, such as how are you going to get the maximum benefit from this webinar. And for that, it is important that all the questions, all the queries, all the doubts which you have, they are all clarified. And the information that we are going to share with you in today's webinar, you have clearly understood that. For that, it is important that if you have a doubt, if there's anything which is not clear to you, you get it clarified. Now, how would you do that? Because unlike a Zoom meeting, you can't unmute yourself and you can't ask your question. So, how are you going to ask your question? And for that, we have two options. One is chat. So if you look down below and if you can't find it in the bottom navigation, it will be in the more tool. So you can go there and you will find chat. Chat is something that we are going to use or use extensively in today's session for interaction, right? So there I would not recommend that you should be adding your questions because that's where there are chances that it might get missed, it might get lost. So I am going to take the initiative. I'm going to share my contact details in the chat so that you know that this is how you're going to interact. So I've shared my contact details, and this is not just for an example. You are also welcome to connect with me if you need any suggestion, etc. And I'm going to share a detailed introduction a little later, but let's continue on the point. Otherwise, we'll get distracted. So, for our interaction, so if I want to have your opinion on certain things, so for that or for interacting with other participants as well, you can do that. You can introduce yourself and God knows you may be able to find a buyer or supplier in this session. And it has also happened in the past wherein participants were able to find a buyer, they were able to even find a supplier. In fact, in one of my sessions, they were even able to close the transaction during the session itself, right? So, God knows what is possible, right? So, you can also do that. But more importantly, for our interaction, we are going to use this more for discussing rather than asking question. For questions, I would recommend there's another tool, and that is in the more tab. So down below, you're seeing number of tabs in your navigation. That's where if you see there is a tab called more, you click on it, and that's where that more tab will show you the Q&A option. So it has a question mark on top of it. You have to use that option to ask questions because technically or realistically, practically, you can go and you can ask your question in the chat. No one is stopping you. But what happens, you will see when other participants also start contributing to the chat. So there will be number of messages and your question will keep going up. And that's where there's a possibility, there's a chance that I may or Mukesh ji may miss your question. And you wanted an answer and we are not able to answer it, and it is not intentional that we are not answering it, it accidentally gets missed out, and we don't want that to happen. So that's where use Q&A feature to ask questions. All right, so I believe that is something which I wanted to share with you. I will also access the Q&A and I'll open it on the other monitor. Generally, I keep peeking into it from time to time. So if there's a question, I would immediately try to answer it. And I also keep the chat window open on the other monitor. So if there is a point which requires immediate explanation, I would certainly do that. But for now, let me just move them to the other monitor so that I can keep a view on that. And I'm just explaining or just mentioning, if you ever find me looking to the side, that's where I'm just looking at the other monitor where I have your chat. In fact, I also have the view or the live view of the webinar on that other monitor. All right, so I can see our live stream is also working fine. Now, before we get started with the webinar or formally get started with the webinar, there's one more point I would want to say it and it gets asked so many times in our previous webinar, it has become almost habitual to answer that question upfront. And that question is, will you get the recording of today's webinar? The answer is absolutely yes, you will get the recording of today's webinar. In fact, it is getting live streamed right now. So if you want, you can go to YouTube and that's where you'll find the recording. Otherwise, after the end of the webinar, I will personally email to all of you and share the recording of the webinar. All right, so perfect. This is where we will formally get started with today's discussion. On the live stream, I can see the camera quality is a little low, probably because of the internet connectivity, but please bear with me on that. Uh, it is looking nice for me, but on the live stream, I can see the camera is little hazy. Uh, and I don't think there's anything I can do much about it. The settings are all good. It is possibly because of the internet connectivity at the moment. Perfect. So this is where we are going to get started with today's discussion, today's webinar. And let me welcome all of you. I don't think I had a chance to welcome all of you. So let me welcome all of you in today's webinar. Hi, good evening, and a very warm welcome to all of you in today's webinar. We are now formally starting today's session. And to start the session, I am going to welcome Mukesh ji. Mr.
Good
Mukesh
afternoon, sir.
is a FIEO official. He is an official with FIEO, which is the Federation of Indian Export Organization, which is a premier export promotion body by the government of India. And he has taken out time from his busy schedule to answer your questions. So if you have any question related to export regulations, etc., so that's where please feel free to ask your question. And he has personally made himself available to provide those answers and guidances. So welcome Mukesh ji to
Good
today's
afternoon.
webinar.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all to participants. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mukesh ji. And this is where I'm going to start presenting, and we are formally moving ahead with our discussion. I can imagine I had been talking and talking all this while, and there is actually no valuable information I had been able to share with you. So let's not take any more of your valuable time, and let's get started. So in next few seconds, you'll start sharing my screen. You'll start seeing my screen. Sorry for the fumble, and we will formally get started. So I have started sharing my screen, and let me minimize this, and we should be all good. I have started presenting my screen. I'll appreciate if someone from the audience, some participants can confirm that you're able to see my screen, although I am also trying to look at it on the live stream preview, and it seems to be working fine. Yes, thank you. I can see Chandni has confirmed, Satish, Ali Asgar, Mudit. Thank you everyone for confirming that you're able to see my screen. And this is where we are now going to get started with our discussion. Now, what is the topic or what is the agenda for today's discussion? The topic or agenda for today's discussion is how you can easily and conveniently connect with international buyers through Indian Business Portal. And we are going to spend most of our time discussing and understanding that. And I'll give you a detailed walkthrough of Indian Business Portal, what opportunities are there for you and how you can leverage those opportunities. We are going to discuss all that in detail, but we will start our discussion with something which is very basic, and that is understanding what is Indian Business Portal. So, Indian Business Portal is a trade hub for Indian exporters and foreign buyers where Indian exporters are showcasing their products, their offering, their services, and international buyers are coming and they are exploring those offerings and they are doing business with Indian exporters and how they are doing business, what are the processes, etc. We are going to discuss those in detail little later, but at this moment, let's try to understand a little more about Indian Business Portal. So, overview. I'm not going to take your time because this is something which I've explained in two simple sentences, but the same thing is elaborated here as part of an overview. But this is where I would take a little bit of your time, because a lot of participants have personally came to me and expressed that they wanted to understand more about GlobalLinker. So that's where I will take a little bit of your time. But let's stay on track. Let's not get distracted. So, who are the institutions and organizations who have created Indian Business Portal? So, two organizations have come together to create Indian Business Portal. One organization is FIEO, or popularly known as FIEO, the Federation of Indian Exports Organization, which I've already mentioned is a apex body of Indian exporters established by the Government of India and represents exporters across the country to promote global trade and policy. So that is one organization. The second organization is GlobalLinker. So GlobalLinker is a technology platform that helps businesses in two ways. One is going digital and growing digital. And as I mentioned, a lot of participants have personally mentioned to me that they are not very clear about GlobalLinker and they would appreciate if I can share a little bit of more uh, information about GlobalLinker. So that's where I will take a minute or so of your time and quickly explain about GlobalLinker. So GlobalLinker, as I mentioned, is a technology ecosystem which helps businesses in two ways. What are those two ways? One is it has its own proprietary no-code website builder platform using which businesses like yours can create their own websites, and those websites can be of different types. In fact, I can show you with examples. So, firstly, here we have many examples. There's a perfume business. This is a business which is into uniforms. So we have another business which is, I believe, into agri product. This is into dairy product. This is into jutes. This is into, again, dehydrated product. This is into chemicals, etc. So many of these businesses, and they are all exporters, by the way. So they have all created their digital presence on our platform using this no-code solution that we have created. And these websites are also optimized for AI discoverability and understandability. And I'll talk about that a little later. But to give you a sense, they are able to create. Now, this is one flavor or one type of website which can be created on the platform. The second flavor or second type of website which can be created are the B2C website. And when I say B2C, a lot of exporters say, okay, that is not of our interest to us because we generally do B2B. But there are companies, there are organizations which also do export B2C, or they do retail exports as we call them. So those capabilities are also available on the platform. In fact, the website which you are currently seeing on your screen is a retail exporter. So they are selling their products domestically as well as to the international customers using the same website. So as an Indian customer, if I'm going to the website, I can see the product. There is a product which is currently available for 499 rupees. However, if I am a customer based in US, and for that I'm going to use a tool called local browser. So it basically allows you to see how a page appears in a specific country. So I'm instructed it to show me how the page looks like in United States. So it is going to take a few seconds and then we'll have a preview. So it is loading up. I think we will also have to scroll it horizontally so that we can see it properly. So this is where you can see the pricing. Same product. It is the same product which I was showing you here. It is now appearing for $6.79, right? So that kind of capabilities are available wherein you can change the currency. In fact, you can add a markup, etc., to accommodate all the additional charges that you have to incur, etc. So all those capabilities are available, and there are different businesses. This is another example of a business, a chain, a sports goods and sports apparel chain. There's another business which is into fabrics, and they also happen to be an exporter. So these kind of businesses are leveraging the B2C capability. Now, we also have another capability because there are certain businesses who are interested in doing both the things at the same time, right? So at one end, you are catering to the bulk buyers or international buyers, importers, and the other end you are catering to the retail customer. And can you do that from the very same website? The answer is absolutely yes. That capability is also available. In fact, let me see if I can show you with an example. So here we have that example. Let me quickly walk you through. So this is where we have this product, which is a sari. And here we have send inquiry and add to cart. So if I am a retail customer, I just want to buy one unit, I can do an add to cart and I can place an order. Whereas if there's an international buyer who wants to buy, let's say, 100 pieces of this, they can send them an inquiry and they can express, I want 100 units of the product, and this is the country, and these are the details. And in fact, if I have some sort of technical specification document, etc., so all that can be added and I can submit my requirement, right? So this is the third flavor. There's a fourth flavor also available. I will very quickly touch upon it. So this is a capability which we have built, which is used by businesses who sell through distribution network. Now, I'm sure many of you may be familiar with this brand, which is very popular for kitchen appliances. Now they sell through a very vast network of shops, selling their product, and whenever those shops have to buy replenishment. So for example, I'm uh, operating a store, a physical shop in, let's say, a tier 3 city or a small uh, town in UP, and I had been selling their products, and their mixer juicer grinders are selling quite nicely, and I need 50 more pieces of it. Now, in the traditional sense, I would have to call up the salesperson, Bhaiya, I need 50 pieces. Can you please send them ASAP? I have a lot of demand. I have a lot of customers who are going away because I don't have enough stocks, etc. Right? I will have that kind of conversation. But a capability is now available. So they don't have to call up anyone. They'll simply come here, log in through their mobile number, and then simply buy whatever product they are wanting to buy, the special price, etc. All that is taken care by the system. Now you must be thinking, why is Adnan wasting our time and explaining something which is of no interest to us? Because it has a export utilization also. This particular capability has, sorry, I have a bad throat, so please bear with me on that. So all right. So I was saying, you must be thinking that Adnan is wasting our time. Why is he talking about something which is not relevant to export? But trust me, it has a utilization, it has a use in export as well. Many businesses in export have this particular concern that if we display our latest styles, if our latest designs, etc., on the internet, they will get copied, they will get stolen. However, at the same time, they want to show them to their trusted buyers and not to everyone. That is possible using this capability. All you have to do is to upload those products or upload those styles, upload those designs onto your website, and then onboard your bulk buyers. They have to just come here, log in through a secured login, and then they'll be able to see your latest collection. No one else on the internet will be able to see that, right? So your products will be there on your website, but they will be behind a lock and key, right? So there will be a secured door on top of it, and only to the people whom you are providing the access, only they will be able to access it. All right. So these are the different types of digital presences they can create. Now, I mentioned GlobalLinker's mission is to help businesses grow digital, go digital, and grow digital. So we have talked about go digital. What about grow digital? So for grow digital, we have taken a unique approach wherein we partner with government bodies, trade associations, etc., and we create avenues in form of marketplaces. So this is one example of a marketplace that we have created in India, which is Indian Business Portal, and we are going to talk at length about that. The second marketplace that we have created is the Global Income Marketplace, which is a cross-border B2B sourcing platform. So this is where on Indian Business Portal, you will only have international sourcing. No domestic sourcing happens here. Here, both domestic as well as international sourcing happens, but this is more focused on domestic sourcing and large sourcing, etc. That is something that we do. We also work in different countries. This is something that we have done in Philippines with Department of Trade and Industry. We have helped them digitize two of the major exhibitions that they do. One is National Food Fair, second is National Trade Fair. And very recently, we have also launched a marketplace in Sri Lanka with one of the largest banks in Sri Lanka. So that's a quick introduction about GlobalLinker. Not that quick, but I hope it gives you a better clarity, because I quite often get those questions after a webinar. All right, so these two organizations have come together to create Indian Business Portal, and key offerings is one is a digital storefront, which is optional. You get a buyer discovery, so international buyers can find you. There is a RFQ, which we are going to discuss. You get a global visibility across the globe on the World Wide Web. You can list your products for free. In fact, I will also touch upon that, and you get to list your catalog. Now, let me quickly take you to Indian Business Portal. This is where I believe we are done with the presentation, and the rest of the part we will take that up later. Let's first focus on Indian Business Portal. So we are on the live Indian Business Portal. Now, I'm going to walk you through how business is done on Indian Business Portal. And after that, I am going to walk you through how you are going to be part of Indian Business Portal, because I can believe many of you are not yet listed. If you are not yet listed, you can type yes in the chat, or you can raise your hand so I can know that you are not yet listed. Let me see how many of you are, so I can see there are many who are not yet listed. Yes, so all of you would want to be listed. But before I explain that, you'll have to bear with me for few more minutes. I will come to that, but before that, let me explain to you how business is done, because most of you are entrepreneurs, and one thing that all of you are interested, including myself, is dhanda. How will I get more dhanda? How will I get more leads? How will I get more revenue? That's what we are majorly interested in, right? So let's try to understand how we are going to achieve that. So there are two broad processes or avenues through which you will be generating business on Indian Business Portal. Although there are three, but we'll talk about the third one a little later. The first is through the RFQ process. Now, you are seeing a button called post buying requirement here. This button, I'm just highlighting that. Now, this is a button which is used for the RFQ process. So using this, international buyers share their buying requirement. So this where they come and they mention that this is what we are trying to import from India, or sometime they will go to the Indian embassy in their country. Indian embassy in their country. They'll go to Indian embassy in their country and express that this is what we are trying to import from India. Can you please help? And then that embassy will connect with one of the FIEO official, or because FIEO happens to be one of the leading trade export promotion organization, and takes participation or participates in almost every major trade show and exhibition. So there many of these international buyers are familiar with FIEO, or they are in touch with FIEO officials, so they will reach out to them personally, or they'll reach out to the FIEO's headquarter, and through those channels also the requirements are then funneled in. So irrespective where the source is, the requirements are funneled here and they are showcased here. So this is where you can see the different requirements which are showcased, and don't get disheartened if you're just seeing two. There are many, they keep coming and going. So each requirement is only valid for a particular period of time. So after that, that requirement is closed. So this is where you can see lead close. So that means these requirements are either fulfilled, or the buyer is in the process of evaluating Indian exporters. Now I'll take a moment to explain the entire process to you. So how does this begin? I explain to you how it begins. So either they go to the post buying requirement, or they reach the embassy, or they reach the FIEO directly, whatever the source may be. Once that requirement comes, then FIEO invest some time and effort onto it to do a due diligence, because FIEO also don't want to just show any inquiry and every inquiry, and then when that inquiry doesn't get materialized, or there's some untoward incident that happens, obviously that will tarnish the reputation of FIEO, and FIEO does not want to do that. So that's where they put in quite a bit of effort to do some level of due diligence. And once they have done that, that's where those requirements are published here. Now, once these requirements are published, if you are listed on Indian Business Portal, which means your products are showcased on Indian Business Portal, you'll get an update that there is a new RFQ which has come. Please post or please submit your requirement. So you'll get an update. Now, these requirements are for a specific period of time. So 10 days, 15 days, depending on the buyer's requirement, or what duration buyer has specified. So based on that, that duration is also specified here. Once that duration gets over, so during that period, what you are required as an exporter is to come and very clearly submit your response. So once that duration gets over, then FIEO will again scrutinize all the responses which are received during that period. In past, there has been a instance where wrong responses were added by certain elements, and those wrong responses were then passed on mistakenly to the international buyer, and it created a very embarrassing situation for all of us as Indians. So that's where FIO puts in an effort. So it goes through an AI scrutinization as well as a human scrutinization, just to ensure that everything is proper, pristine, and then it goes to the international buyer. So roughly around 3 to 5 working days is something which FIO takes to do that scrutinization, and then it is shared with international buyers. International buyers generally take a week or two to review all the responses which are there and take the decision, right? So overall, from the timeline perspective, you should imagine, if you have submitted your response, that you'll get a reply or an update in 3 to 4 weeks, right? You may get it earlier if the buyer was very quick, and the moment they receive the responses, immediately they decide, okay, I want to work with these. So in that case, you will get a update quicker. But generally, it is 3 to 4 weeks that you should imagine. Now, I am just repeating it deliberately because I know that this happens to be a very common question on our help desk. Now, you may be thinking, how do I reach help desk if I need support? I will share the contact detail, although they are there in Indian Business Portal's footer. If you go there, you will be able to find it. But I'll share the phone number and email ID as well. So don't worry on that. I will do that. But on our help desk, we get this question quite often, that I have submitted my response to one of the RFQs. When will I get an update? I haven't got an update. And that's where one of our representatives will get in touch with that exporter, and they'll try to understand which RFQ have you submitted and when have you submitted. So we'll come to know that it was submitted yesterday and they're wanting a response. So that's where I just thought of clarifying that you will have to be a little patient, and you should imagine that within 3 to 4 working days, working within 3 to 4 weeks, not working days, you'll get a response, or you'll get an update. All right. Now, what happens next? That's the interesting question that sometimes gets asked. Like, okay, you have explained the process, you have explained the timelines. What happens next? How will I know that I have been shortlisted? So for that, there are again multiple permutations and combination that happens there. But most probably, what happens, because international buyers trust FIEO. Because it's a government entity, so obviously there's a higher level of trust. So international buyers will ask FIEO that, can you please also help us, and can you please also schedule meetings with these buyers? We have selected these exporters from India, and FIEO will then help that. FIEO will then reach out to you, and they'll tell you that, okay, international buyer has selected you. When are you available? We would like to schedule a meeting, and the FIEO will coordinate that meeting. So that's the most popular method, or the most popular outcome which is there. The next outcome is wherein they directly, so many of the international buyers are not very comfortable troubling FIEO. So they have helped them get the exporters. That's where they are happy. And then they directly also reach out. So you'll get a email or phone or a message that I'm this from this country, and I've received a response from you through FIEO, and I would like to connect with you over an online meeting or over a phone call, and I want to discuss my requirement further. So that is the second outcome. The third outcome is wherein the international, and that happens rarely. It is not like every now and then, but rarely it has happened. So that's why I am mentioning. So the third outcome is where they will ask FIO. So they'll give that these are the exporters that we have shortlisted, and then they will ask, can you please ask these exporters? You don't have to bother yourself. So they are saying to FIO that you don't have to bother yourself. You simply ask these exporters to connect with us. Right. So that also happens. I'm just pointing out that's the third outcome. The fourth outcome is where the international buyer is not able to decide whom should they work with. So in that case, FIO takes their permission. Can we share your details with all these exporters who have done the hard work and they have submitted their response? And then they can reach out to you and discuss in individually. So if the buyer agrees, then you will all get the contact details from FIO's side. So that's the fourth and again a rare outcome, which also happens. So that's how the entire RFQ process works. Now, there are two more points I want to talk to you, and those are important ones. The process of submitting response is very simple. All you have to do is to click here, and then the next page opens up, and that's where you have to just submit the response. It is very simple and easy. But what happens, and this is something I am not just making up, we have seen there are two problems we have seen in the responses. The first problem is there had been many, many instances where exporters have submitted the response without clearly understanding the requirement. So what does that mean? So this is steel and wire. If they deal in steel and wire, they just submitted the response without getting into the details of what the requirement actually is. And when they were shortlisted, that's where they realized we can't fulfill these products or we can't export these products. We don't have those capabilities. Again, you can imagine is not a very good situation for us as Indians, right? So we would not want to get into those difficult situations. So that's where the first suggestion or the point for you is that once you will click here, it will take you to another page. That's where you will see the details and read the details. And if you have confusion, please do feel free to reach out to FIO. FIO's officials will be more than happy to help and guide you. In fact, I will share an email ID on the chat. You can email on this email ID, and one of the FIO officials will respond to you. You'll have to mention that which RFQ you are which RFQ you are referring to, and a FIO official will help and guide you. So that's one point. Point number two is not adding details. So once you'll be filling up the form, that's where you will see that most of the information fields are informational, which means your company name, your email ID, etc. Everyone will have that. There are two questions about your capabilities and about your experiences, and that's where again we have noticed that many exporters, and not just the startups or the exporters who have just started off, even seasoned exporters who have decades of experience have done this mistake wherein they are very conservative in talking about their experience or capabilities, and they just type yes we have experience and yes, and that is absolutely suicidal thing to do, because that's where you are limiting yourself. You are not running in the race. Unless you run, you'll not be able to win the race or at least complete the race. If you have to complete the race, and if you want to win the race, if you want to be succeeded wherein the international buyer is choosing you, that's where you have to be detailed in your response, right? So when you're asked about your experience, add details, at least 2 3 paragraphs, so that international buyer can know that okay, this is your background, these are your experiences, very nice, I should be doing business with you. And similarly for capabilities, now a counter question which I almost get in every webinar is from the newer exporters and startups, and they share a counter question. I can imagine it must already be there in the chat or Q&A, that we are a startup, we don't have experience, so what should we do? Should we not tell about it? If you're not adding anything there, that's where again it is suicidal, because that's where you have omitted it. How is the international buyer going to evaluate you if you are leaving it blank? And by the way, you don't have an option to leave it blank, you'll have to add something there. So, firstly, don't be dishonored, because in today's day and age, it is absolutely foolish to imagine that they are not going to find. It is very, very simple and easy. In fact, anyone can find about any business sitting in their home country. And there are specialized agencies which provide that service, right? So, it is very easy for them to find out that you're a startup. So, don't lie about it. Second is there's something special that you are bringing on the table, whatever that value add that you are providing, whether it is superior quality, superior sourcing, ethical sourcing, or organic product, or there's some art form that you're supporting, or you have some sort of a proprietary process, manufacturing process, etc. Whatever that is, you have to talk about that. All right. So this is one process which is there for you to do business with international buyers, and that's called the RFQ process. The next process is much more simpler, and that's where international buyers are coming and they are directly contacting you. Now, this is where you must be thinking, how are they going to directly contact us? So let me walk you through. Let's first find one or two products which we can use as an example. So let's open this one, and let's open any other product that we can find. Let's open this one. So just think of a hypothetical scenario wherein there's an international buyer and they're looking for these plumbing and pipe fittings, etc. And that's where we come across. Now, one point which I would want to highlight to you and to all of you, whether it is Indian Business Portal or GlobalLinker Marketplace or XYZ Marketplace or your website as well, most of your buyers will be landing directly on the page. All right. They will not be going to the home page. Most of them will be landing directly because they're looking for a product. That's why they will land on the product, right? So they'll land on the product. This is where they have landed on this particular product. And that's where, okay, this is the right product. This is the product that I was looking for. And that's where the international buyer, obviously, they don't just want to buy one CV or ball wall. They want probably hundreds or thousands of it. And there are other products also they are looking for. So obviously, they would want to understand more about this particular exporter. So that's where one option they have is contact seller. But before that, they would want to do some due diligence as well. They would want to understand more. So that's where if they click on the product title, that's where it takes them to the seller's profile. This is where we have the seller's profile. This is where on the first go, the moment they land, they are able to see all the products which are there from that particular seller. So I was looking for walls, I was looking for this kind of a wall, I was looking for these kind of pipe fitting. So all the products I can see in one place, one section, and I know that these products are here. Now, I would want to understand more about this particular exporter. So I can go to About Us, and that's where I can read a lot of information about them. And I can also understand which countries they have already exported to and when did they start their business. All that information is available. And this is where we have a certification as well. So I know that it is a genuine organization. It is the right organization which is there. So I can see their certification. So all the questions, or at least most of the important questions which are there in the minds of international buyer, they're all answered here. So it is structured in a way that all those questions are answered by the platform, or at least the platform helps in answering those questions. All right. Now those questions are answered. Now, as an international buyer, I would want to move ahead. How will I move ahead? How would I contact? So that's where the most popular option is request meeting, which you are seeing here. Using the request meeting feature, they will be able to request a meeting. So similar to how we are meeting here, there's a webinar format and it is more like a monologue, but they'll be able to schedule an online meeting, and this is request meeting, not schedule a meeting. So request meeting means they are requesting, they are asking, I want to meet you, are you available at this time? That's what they are trying to do, and that's this feature. So you'll get an update, you'll get a notification that someone has requested a meeting. Now many times people have asked me that, okay, emails suddenly have this problem that if I miss an email, or there are so many emails that we receive in a day, hundreds of them, and there are chances because a lot of these notifications will go into update, and generally people don't actively look into updates. So that's where there's a chance that it might get missed out. So is there any other option, other notification? Yes, there is. I would recommend that you should download the GlobalLinker mobile application. So if you go to Play Store or App Store, both on Android and iOS, it is there. So there you will find GlobalLinker. So download that. That's where you will get the notification if you have received a meeting request. Another place which I would recommend where you should go and actively look at. So if you have created a website with us, you'll get a control panel like this. And in the control panel, if you go, there is a section called My Meetings, and where all the meetings will be detailed out. This, by the way, is a demonstration account. So that's why you are not seeing any meetings here. But in your case, all the upcoming meetings will be here, and today's meetings will be here. Again, these are request meetings, so you can propose a alternate time as well. So if you're not happy with that time, it doesn't go well with your working hours, etc. So in that case, very easily you can propose a alternate time, and you'll get their contact details. So if you want to contact them in person, over the phone, or over WhatsApp, or over emails, etc., you'll be able to do that. All right. So that's one. The second is contact seller, which is this option. Again, when I click on it, it is asking me to log in or sign up. Contact seller is wherein the international buyer's contact details will be shared with you. So if I'm an international buyer and I'm contacting you, so in that case, all my contact details, my company name, in fact, I can show you that very quickly. If I click here, so that's where you will have my name, you will have my email, my mobile number, my company name, my designation, and you will also have the category in which I'm interested in, and you will also know whether I'm a buyer importer or I am an agent. So you'll also have that information. So you'll get that as a notification. So again, you'll get an email that someone is wanting to contact you, and here are the contact details. So you can contact them yourself very easily, or if you have downloaded the GlobalLinker mobile application, then you'll get a notification there as well. The third place where I again recommend that at least once in a week, you should be going and checking that. And that is on the control panel. If you go to the customers section, there you will see a section called contact us messages. So all these messages which are sent to you, they will all be logged here. So you'll be able to see with who has contacted you, and you'll get all the details here, right? So this is like a log which will always maintain all those, even the historical data will be here. So this is the second method using which the international buyers are going to contact you. All right. So this is these are the two methods using which you will be doing business. This there's a third method as well, which is not that popular or precise, but again, something which you can consider exploring, which is through the community route. So this particular GlobalLinker community has members from 150 countries. So what you can do is you can go to add connections, and that's where you can search for people from different countries, and you can contact them similar to how we do it on LinkedIn, and you can drop them a message. If they accept their contact request, then you can have a conversation with them, and if they have a requirement. So there you can explore whether they have a requirement for your product, or they may know someone who has a requirement for your products, right? So that's the third method which is available. Now, how are you going to create or list your products on the Indian Business Portal? So let me walk you through the process as well. So listing on Indian Business Portal is very simple and easy. All you have to do is to go to Indian Business Portal, and this is where you will see there is a option which says sell on Indian Business Portal, register as Indian exporter. Right, so you can see this option I'm referring to. You have to click on it, and it will take you to another page. On this page, you'll see two identical buttons. One says create your catalog, other says create your catalog. So both the buttons are saying the same thing. So you have to click on them, and it will take you to the onboarding journey. It's a 5-step journey, very simple and easy. So through this journey, you have to create your account and you have to list your products. It's a very simple and easy journey. You have to just basically provide your business details, and then you have to upload the product related information, and then you can list your products. And that's how you'll be able to list your products. Now, quite often we get this question in our interaction with exporters that what are the pricing, etc. So that's where I would want to take a moment to explain the pricing model. So just give me a very quick second to also show you that. So I believe we'll have to go to the seller page. So on GlobalLinker, we have three options or three models available to you. The first model is this one, which is DIY free. Now, as an exporter, if you just want to list products on Indian Business Portal and GlobalLinker Marketplace, so you are wanting to list the products here and here, you don't want to create a website, that's where you can do it for free. The pricing is zero, which you are currently seeing here. The second option that we have is DIY Premium, which enables the website creation features on your account. Now, when those features are enabled, you can yourself, because the platform or the solution that we have created, it is a no code solution. So you don't need to know coding, you don't need to know HTML or Java or uh, Python or PHP, etc. You don't need any coding knowledge. You don't need a degree in computer science. You can, if you can type, you can literally create a website very, very easily. So we have created that capability and it is there. So DIY Premium, that capability is available, and you can switch it on by taking this plan. Now, if you are someone who is serious and who wants to have a AI understandable and AI understandability optimized website, that's where we have created this option as well. And this is where I would take another 2 minutes to talk about AI understandability as well. Because in today's day and age, and I believe all of you will agree that our buyers' behavior is changing, and this keeps happening. The business and the customer, everything keeps evolving. There had been certain businesses which were very, very popular and very, very successful at certain point in time, but the buyer's behavior or how they did things changed. So, for example, and Gen Z may not be able to relate to it, but at least people from my generation will relate that at one point in time, STD PCOs used to be a very lucrative business, and every other person was operating a STD PCO. But as technology evolved, that became redundant. Similarly, with cyber cafes, we have seen at one point in time there were large organizations who were selling franchisees of their cyber cafes, etc. But we have seen with technology that has changed. Now that technology shift is also happening right now, where AI adoption or AI use is happening, and it is a sensible thing. It is not a cynical thing that our buyers or anyone is doing. Everyone want to be efficient, everyone want to save their time so that they have more leisure time, etc. And that's where our buyers are also doing the same thing. Now there comes the challenge, because the website which you had created was never created with a intention to be understood by AI. Am I right? If you have recently created, then you may be an exception. But if you are someone who has created a website 2 years ago, 3 years ago, honestly, you never created it for being understood by an AI. And if that is the case, then there is a very strong possibility that your website is not AI understandable, and that creates a significant challenge for you. Now, what is the solution? So, solutions are two. One is, because I understand website is not something that you create or you make every day. So that's where you want to take a sensible decision, and you need an expert advice to understand where do you stand. So we do a review, which is called a digital visibility review. It is worth 3,000, but for my webinar attendees, I'm willing to do it for free. I'll share the link. Using that, you can book an appointment with me. I will do the review of your website and help you understand if it is suitable for AI understandability. Do you need some changes, or whether it is not suitable for AI understandability? I'll give you a clearer picture, and then you can take that decision. Now, we had been doing these reviews for some time, and a lot of the exporters like you who got the review done came back to us that, okay, you have helped us understand where the gaps are. Now, the challenge is, the problem is that we are not able to fix those gaps ourselves. We are not an expert, and I don't have time to fix those gaps. So, can you please help us? And that's where we started this service, which is called the Done For Me B2B website service. And that's what you were seeing there. This is that particular service. In fact, I will take you to the next page. This service is purely focused on making a business AI understandable, and all the deliverables that you are seeing here, they are all focused on it. So every product that you are listing on the website, they are all optimized for AI understandability, answer engine optimization, and SEO. Similarly, business information, a lot of it is required. So we do research, we identify which are the topics for which you need information on your website, and we create that content as well, right? So we are not just identifying and telling you, okay, we need information on this. No, no, nothing of that. So we create the content, because the reality is that most of you don't have that information, and that's why it is not there on your website. So we also create that information. And for SEO, that is another realization that we get when we were doing these reviews, that most of the website had really poor meta update, and which was impacting their search engine optimization. So we do on page SEO as well, wherein we are doing proper meta update on all the pages on the website. And we also write 5 blog articles for answer engine optimization, and we also link the website with a Google's tool called Google Search Console. Now, design wise, we have multiple design teams. So our team help the exporter choose a suitable design theme, and our then design team creates the banners, etc. All of you will have a profile on GlobalLinker. It is the seller's profile. Let me try to show you. I may have it here. So similar to this, just sharing as an example. So this profile has two roles. One is it appears in search, and many of you will feel that it will outrank your own existing website for many exporters. In fact, uh, day before yesterday, I was meeting a business, and they, in fact, complimented us on this, that whatever you have created, you have done magical. Because on my own website, I'm doing so much SEO, and this profile outranks it. So somehow you're doing something great with the SEO. And yes, there's a lot of effort that goes in for search engine optimization. Now, that's where this profile has one SEO role. Second, the role is to look presentable, because any bulk buyer, when they are coming in, this is on GlobalLinker Marketplace, when they are seeing the product before contacting you, send inquiry, initiates a chat. But before doing that, they would certainly want to understand more about you, and that's where they'll come to your profile. So that is also optimized, or that is also made better. And lastly, with regards to payment and shipping integration, and this is for B2C sellers, not relevant to you. But if you are someone who is also into B2C, then you can also do. You will also get help in payment and logistic integration. We will list products on GlobalLinker Marketplace, Indian Business Portal, and lastly, with regards to training, that's where we will provide you training. It's a no-code platform, so it is not like you need some very tedious or confusing training or something complex you have to solve. It is very easy and simple. All you have to do is to understand what happens from where, and we will help you and support you with that. Now, with regards to pricing, because we work mostly with MSMEs, so that's where deliberately we have kept the price as economical as possible. So the price for the service is 40,000, but as an inaugural offer, we are giving it for a discounted price of 24,999. So if you are serious about your business and serious about making your business AI understandable, that's where you can consider taking this service. I also mentioned to you that I will be doing, or I am offering, a complimentary review of your websites to see where you stand with regards to AI understandability. So I am going to share a link in an email. So after webinar, I'll send an email with the link. And in fact, I'll see if I can share it right away so that you can schedule the session right away. If you are interested in availing this service, I'm sharing the link in the chat right away. This is for our Done For Me B2B website setup service. So if you are interested, you can avail it. All right, so I've shared that in the chat. I am now going to stop the screen share and we will break into the question answer round. I can only see one question. So if there are more questions which are not yet added in the chat, please do add them. I'm going to share my contact details once again in the chat. I did mention to you that I am also going to share the contact details of help desk. So let me do that very quickly. And I am now going to share the link to schedule the digital visibility review. So this is the link. In the meantime, if you have already not added your question, please do add that. So now I am sharing the link for scheduling the digital visibility review. So it's a link of my calendar and you can schedule. So you have to look at it. There are many exporters like you who are actively scheduling these sessions. So my calendar might be a little tight for next 1 or 2 days, but you can look for an appropriate slot and you can book the digital visibility review. The link is there in the chat and I'm also going to email it to you. So that's where. All right. So the first question which I'm seeing in the Q&A is from Mr. Praneeth Ramesh, and the question is related to a technical issue. So, Mr. Praneeth, I would request if you can drop an email at the helpdesk contact details, which I've shared in the chat. I am also sharing them through a personal message. So, please drop an email and we will help and look into the issue that you're facing. Next question is from Mr. Tarachan. His question is, do we need to take FIEO membership separately for listing or becoming part of Indian Business Portal? FIEO membership is not mandatory. IEC is mandatory. So if you have IEC code, you can list on Indian Business Portal. But FIEO membership does have its own advantages. Next question is from Mr. Mudit Sharma. I was just reading his question. So, Mudit ji, the first suggestion which I have is if you can share your profile which you have on Indian Business Portal or uh, your product listing with me. I would review it and I will share with you if there are any gaps, because there can be a gap which may be confusing the system, and the wrong RFQs are getting flagged or mapped to you. So if you can share your details, we can review it and we can share our observations where the gap is and why you are getting the wrong RFQs. Next question is from Mr. Tarachan. I believe, Tarachan ji, you are asking about FIEO membership. So I think you can get the FIEO membership online. Mukesh ji, is that correct? Through the
Ye-
DGFT's website?
yes, sir. For FIEO membership, he may visit DGFT website from where he can apply. Under services, already one option is given there. ERCMC. Just click there and apply for FIEO membership.
All right. So that's where Tarajanji, you have to go to DGFT's website if you want to have FIEO's membership, and in services you'll find a FIEO membership, and from there you can apply. Next question, and that's a important one, and that is from Chandni. Chandni ji's question is, is FIEO also doing the due diligence of the buyer to ensure genuineness? Yes, there is a level of due diligence that FIEO does, but FIEO is not guaranteeing that the buyer is genuine. So, as business owners, you are required to do the due diligence. So, please don't assume that the buyer has come from FIEO or from Indian Business Portal and that's where they are genuine. No, you are required to do the due diligence. Yes, there is something which FIEO does, but it does not guarantee that the buyers are genuine. Okay, so Mudiji is asking how to share. So I've shared my email ID in the chat, so you can drop an email to me on that. Next question is from anonymous attendee, and the question is regarding the retail export. Is there a separate inquiry? In fact, for retail export, you can directly take the order. So how it happens is you can have both the capabilities. So if there's a bulk buyer, they'll send you an inquiry that we want these many units of the products, and as a retail customer, I just want one piece. So why would I get into the inquiry mode? I want to place an order. So I'll use the add to cart feature and I'll proceed ahead to place an order, right? So that's how you can manage it. Or if you don't want to have a inquiry feature, you just want to have the purchase feature. So that is also possible. All right. So that was anonymous attendees question. Any other question from any of the participant? Next question is when I'm looking at the chat also to see if there's a question which I can answer. So I am seeing a question from Gurdeep, and the question is I want to build a website for both B2B and B2C for international customers. Yes, that is certainly possible. I'm not sure if you were there when I was showing the examples. So there are many businesses who are already doing that. Next is OnePlus, Bmail FIO, no response. So you can mark me. You have my email ID. You can mark me in the email, and I will see to it that you are getting a response. Next question, and this is a important one, and this is from Mr. Nagaraj. And the question is, if I already have a website, what will GlobalLinker do? Will they make amends to the existing website, or they'll create a new one? The answer is we will create a new one, because generally when we have, so there are two reasons behind that. The first is the technology itself. What we have created is something which eliminates your dependency on agency or developer. We are providing this service because obviously you don't have expertise, you don't have time, so that's where we are hand holding it. But the technology itself, what we have built and how we have built, is something which does not require a developer or a technical person. Anyone can use it, right? So that's one reason. The second reason is most of the websites which I review, they have poor infrastructure, they are badly set up. So even if you have the best content, you hire the best content writer in the world, and you have the best images in the world, still it will not help if the underlying technology is bad. So that's where we build it from scratch, and that's built with the right content on a state of art technology infrastructure that helps and contributes to AI understandability. Next question, which I can see, is from Mr. Ali Asgar. His question is, if I want to respond to RFQs from a specific category, can I filter them? Yes, you can filter them. In fact, there are newer AI-powered filters which we are working on, and they'll be introduced very soon. All right, so the next question is from Shani ji, and her question is about the SEO. So the SEO is done globally. So it is not like the buyers are only in Vietnam. The buyers are global, right? So that's where we are positioning that we are a exporter and we have these products which are available for bulk buying, etc. So that's where the search and AI know that these products are for bulk. So if there are buyers who are wanting to buy these products in bulk and not from their own home countries, they are wanting to buy it from India or from other countries, that's where Google knows that this is the source from where I can find the suppliers, and that's where it gets recommended, right? So the SEO optimization, yes, it works globally. Yes, there is a local version of it, which is local SEO optimization, which is generally done for hotels, restaurants, etc., saloons, etc. But in your case, that's a global SEO which is done. With regards to the website that we create, we do a SEO in a manner that it not only helps with the search engine optimization, because search engine optimization is something which is there only for a short period of time. It is uh, clear that it will be taken over by AI search and answer engine optimization. In fact, a lot of experts are speculating that answer engine optimization will take over the search engine optimization. So that's where we are, the websites we are building, they are preparing already for answer engine optimization. So everything is needed for answer engine optimization, we are putting it there. And we also train our users in doing the other activity like posting blog articles regularly, etc., so that they can keep building on top of it. Next question is anonymous attendee. Is FIEO membership needed for done for me websites? No, they are not needed. Any other question from any other participant before we close today's meeting or today's webinar? Next question, which I can see, is from Anupama. Sorry for mispronunciation. I am already a FIEO member and would like to know if any other social media also will be taken care of for articles, input, etc. So, Anupama, how we look at it, there's just one lens, that is, can AI understand about your business? Because that's super crucial. If AI does not understand about your business, it is not going to evaluate or recommend you. If it is not going to recommend you, you will not get leads. Even if you are directly going and talking to the international buyer, he will use AI or she will use AI to evaluate you. And that's where if AI doesn't understand, right? So that's clear one straight line or one objective that we are looking to achieve to make your business AI understandable. Now, for that, social media certainly is a area which needs attention. So for businesses which are not regular on social media, the first thing that we do is we identify where they don't have a presence on social media. So for example, if they don't have a Facebook profile, we help them create that. Or if they already have social channels and they are not optimized, so the content, the logo, banners, etc., they're not optimized, we help them optimize. Now on top of it, we also guide them how they can effectively use AI. In fact, we have a social media course which you can avail while you're making the purchase of Done For Me, and you can learn how you can effectively post on social media, how you can win in the social media game. So we also guide them so that they can regularly post. In fact, uh, same for blog article creation. We guide our users that this is how you have to write blog articles, this is how you have to do the topic research, and then they can take it forward. All right. So, next question, which I just see, anonymous attendee. It is not Indie, sir. It's included in 24,000. I am not clear if your question is in this 24,999 pricing, which is there for Done For Me package. Does that include FIEO membership? No, it does not include. It includes premium subscription for 1 year, which cost 5,000. So for the first year, you have to just pay 24,999 plus taxes. From the second year onwards, you have to pay 5,000 per year, not monthly, per year, and that includes your hosting, tech support, etc. Everything is included in that. So that is the pricing model. I hope I've clarified that question. Any other last question before we conclude the session? So I am guessing there are no further questions. So that's where we will conclude the session for today. Thank you everyone for taking out time and participating in this session. It was a wonderful connecting with all of you. And I believe and feel that you may have found the session informative, and you are going to use this knowledge and information to your business's benefit. And most importantly, you are going to do something to make your business AI understandable, because that is a very, very crucial thing. So
Thank you,
this is
sir.
where again we will conclude the session for today. Thank you, Mukesh ji. Thank you for
Thank you,
your
sir.
time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.